Let go of thought and bring it not into your heart. For you are naked, and thought is an icy wind. You think in order to escape from torment and suffering, but your thinking is torment's fountainhead. Know that the bazaar of God's making is outside of thought. Contemplate his effects. O you who are dominated by fire. Behold that lane from which all forms are flying, that stream which turns the mill wheel of the heavens, that rose-faced beauty who makes the faces of the heart ravishers like roses, that source of all temptations from whom lovers' cheeks are inflamed. These 100,000 birds keep flying happily from non-existence. These 100,000 arrows keep streaming forth from one bow.
Who among us doesn't love to think? In fact, we think so much that we have become addicted to our thinking. It's worse than any other drug we consume, and unlike drugs, it's free and never runs out. Recent scientific studies have shown that the majority of our thinking is not only negative, but also repetitive. We repeat the same thoughts over and over again, unaware of how we can escape this vicious cycle. But what science understands today has been understood centuries and even millennia ago. While Rumi was not the first person to understand the devastating effects of thoughts, he gives us such a deep and insightful explanation of why we should let go of our thinking, why we should live happily in silence instead. For if we allow thoughts to race around unchecked in our mind, it is as if we are standing in a snowstorm without any clothing or protection at all, just absolutely naked. The icy wind of thought will surely kill us, if not make us extremely sick. We are naked in the sense that thoughts do not really make up who we are. No matter how many stories we tell ourselves, no thought will ever capture who we really are. Yet because we don't know any better, we keep thinking and thinking, hoping that it will build, reaffirm, and protect our identity. But Rumi is telling us that our thoughts are not our identity. We are not what we think. In fact, we are the empty space or the nakedness behind thoughts. If we sit by the edge of a river and see the water flowing, we don't say that we are the river. Rather, we say that we are watching the river. Similarly, if we watch or listen to our thoughts flow in the background of our mind, we shouldn't say that we are our thoughts, but rather that we are observing our thoughts. That is the level of awareness that is needed to escape the ego's grip on our soul. Our ego loves to tell us that we are smart and that we can think of a solution to any problem that comes our way. It loves to teach us that thinking is everything and that the way out of suffering is thinking. But of course, this is just a thought. To think of being at peace is just a thought, no matter how wonderful a thought. But to actually be at peace is an experience that thought can never create. So be aware of your thinking, because rather than being a part of the solution, thinking is often a part of the problem. But you might wonder, how exactly do we become aware of our thinking? Well, if you read the poem closely, you'll see that Rumi offers some nuggets of wisdom on how exactly we can enter this thoughtless and peaceful state. He's not necessarily instructing that we sit down on a mat and meditate, but he is suggesting something similar. He is advising deep and focused contemplation on who actually created thought. Who is the archer and bow that allows 100,000 arrows or thoughts to be fired? When we shift our mind and heart from our own personal stories to the only true storyteller, who is Source, we slowly let go of all the mind chatter and enter a truly peaceful state where we can let go of everything. You may think that this is just another form of thought, but with enough practice, you will transcend thought and actually experience the one who created thought. You will experience the silence and emptiness of Source. However you experience it, whether that's through prayer, meditation, or contemplation, is beside the point. But the ultimate message is to not be the 100,000 birds or thoughts that fly aimlessly here and there. Rather, be the non-existence from where these thoughts all came. Be satisfied with being nothing and thinking of nothing. For as the famous quote goes, "Let's be nothing. I heard it lasts forever."